Hello and welcome. Today I'm actually going to do something educational for once. So please turn the lights down. No, don't get up, I'll do it. Because it's time for some science. Something educational at last. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that sounds like it should be out of like a sci-fi film, but it's not. It actually does happen. We're going to be talking about acid rain. So before we get into anything, like any tiny little cracks that you may see, anything like, before we get into it, we need to know what causes it. So what causes acid rain? Here's the elements that make up acid rain. We have our hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. So what we really need to know now is how the sulfur, the hydrogen, and the oxygen actually got there in the first place. So let's find that out. So obviously, as you can tell, that the oxygen and the hydrogen obviously come from the air because we have that up there anyway. It's what we breathe in and out. But where does the sulfur come from? Well, first things first, I have to tell you one thing very important. Acid rain is not carbon dioxide. It doesn't have carbon dioxide in it. People think that, but it doesn't. Carbon dioxide is what mixes with the normal rain to make normal rain. It's only slightly acidic, but it's normal. It's when we add the sulfur, it starts to get dangerous and catastrophic. So where does the sulfur come from? It's not actually sulfur that causes the acid rain. It's sulfur dioxide, which is produced when you burn fossil fuels. So that's right, it starts in our factories. So as it mixes with the rain and the air, as it rains, we then get, instead of just having the rain come down, we have the rain mixed with the sulfur dioxide, causing us acid rain. But why don't we get that much in the UK? Well, it's because of the chimneys. We started off with our chimneys. As they produced smoke, it would smoke out busy areas, for example, London. And so, of course, people thought this isn't very nice, so we built taller chimneys. So these tall chimneys would then mean the smoke would get carried into the air by the wind and travel halfway across the planet to places like China. It was also not helped by the fact that China also had a lot of industries and factories, meaning that China also created their own pollution, creating their own acid rain. This show is sponsored by Not Nice Holidays. Why not travel halfway across the world to look at our stunning views? While you are looking, you can get poisoned by our beautiful sulfur dioxide. Then you can come back to our luxurious hotels and bathe in our outdoor swimming pools where you can be burnt by the acid rain. All this for an amazing price of £1.99. Seriously though, all jokes aside, this can have some devastating effects on the environment. Acid rain has many effects on the ecosystem, but one of the biggest effects it has is what it does to lakes and rivers. It makes the lakes and rivers more acidic, meaning that some of the species that live in the water die out. This doesn't just affect the species that live in the water though. It can also affect species such as birds higher up in the food chain. It also means that the water absorbs aluminium from the soil, making the water toxic for most aquatic animals. It also affects forests, especially forests that are higher up. It removes precious nutrients from the soil that help the trees to grow. It also makes it harder for the trees to get water from the soil. The picture on screen is what happens to forests. It doesn't just affect the ecosystem though. It can also affect buildings, statues, and even paint. Buildings and statues that are most likely to be affected are often made out of marble or limestone. Is it too late? Is it too late to stop acid rain? Or is it stuck into some kind of cycle? Well, there are actually quite a few ways to stop it. One is to wash out the sulfur from the fossil fuels before it is burnt. Another is to filter the smoke to stop any sulfur dioxide from going into the air. But people think the best one would be to stop using fossil fuels altogether. But with fossil fuels dying out, that may be the option we go for, and we'll have to go to other sources of energy. But anyway, that's just science. Simple science. Thanks for watching.